Oh hey guys, it's me again. I'm going to be doing what is quite possibly the last game comparison series video. Now, as if you've been watching all these videos start to finish, you realise that this series has been going on for a month now. And it's just about the only series of videos that I've promised to do that I've actually completed. Now, without further ado, all the games are on Australian classification rating, so again, you know the drill. PG, G, PG, M, MA15 plus R, and I've even got a few special limited editions that I gotta show you, because I've recently picked up my PS4, or about 2 weeks ago, and I haven't quite stopped playing it since. That system is amazing. Anyway, let me show you what games I've got to make me consider that. First game on this list is Tearaway Unfolded. I really like the reimagining they did for this version of the game. Actually, it feels like a completely different game. Well, they could have listed this as a sequel, and I definitely at first sight would not have known that this was like a reimagining of the Vita title. The Vita game's great, and so is this. Actually, I really enjoyed this, and the creative use of the controller, creative use of hardware, very cheap too, which is a little unfortunate considering the game's less than 6 months old. It came out in September, late September, didn't it? Oh well. Definitely do pick this up if you're looking for a good platformer. After all, it is made by the guys who made Little Big Planet, and they are also making Dreams soon anyway, and that looks kind of interesting. Next game on this list is Journey Collector's Edition. I've heard very good things about this. That's why I picked it up, because, I mean, I wanted to pick up a physical, so I got all of that game company's games in the one disc. As you can see here, it's all here. It takes up a very small amount of disk space on the hard drive, actually, about 4 gig, which is quite convenient actually. And considering this is a remaster of a very well received PlayStation 3 game, and these two games I've heard are very good anyway, I can imagine that these three games would be a very good experience. Anyway, next game on this list is Driveclub. Wow, this game actually just got an update yesterday. This game just keeps getting updates. It's amazing how much support this game gets. It's really cheap too. Like, in my opinion, it's a really underrated. It's a really good racing game. It kind of hits that nice niche between arcade and sim. I don't know. Really, it's a nice challenge. I really like the challenge you get on this game, because I usually don't like having a lot of assists turned on. I usually like having a bit of a challenge with racing games. But this is an absolutely astounding racing game. I mean, the car list is a little lacking, but it's mostly European, so I can't complain. I love European vehicles and Japanese vehicles. There's a sad shortage of Japanese vehicles in this game, but oh well, no point crying over sport milk. I'm guessing there's always going to be Gran Turismo coming out. There's always going to be another Gran Turismo, and I'm very looking forward to Gran Turismo Sport. But this is very cheap, and if you find this and you don't have it yet, I'd definitely consider picking it up, because you can't go wrong with this. This is a very cheap and very good racing game. Next game on this list is Teslagrad. Now, you see, I was actually planning on picking this up for the Nintendo Wii U, but when I found this for $12, and considering the Wii U version was about $45, I think it kind of made it obvious as to which version I'd buy. Nonetheless, it's a really beautiful platformer. It's quite a challenge too, actually. It's got all this beautiful art. It's got this beautiful art style. It looks like it's hand drawn, actually. It just looks really nice, and everything just works so smoothly. Again, if you can pick this up for $12 like I did, I would easily recommend this. However, digitally you can get it for about $11, and you get the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita versions. I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm not 100% sure. Get it digitally though, but if you can find it cheaper physically, I'd recommend getting a physical copy, because who knows how rare these might be in a few years. Next game on this list is probably my favorite PlayStation Vita game ever, and actually, as of currently, my favorite PlayStation 4 game ever. I am so looking forward to the second game in this series. This is so much fun. This is really good. As you can see, the disc art and all that kind of stuff here. It's just, I don't know, a lot of people consider this a niche game, but I mean, at first I didn't like it a lot, but then I kind of bought it for $1 on the Vita store back in November 2014, and I didn't really stop playing it. I couldn't really stop playing it. I really got into it. And then this came out for $30, and I just had to buy it. And I haven't quite stopped playing it yet. All I can say is bring on Gravity Rush 2. I'm hoping that gets a localization down here in 2016 as well. God knows when the game's coming out in Japan in 2016 anyway. Oh well, very, very good game. One of my favorites. Actually, this is probably my favorite in the whole game list, actually. Anyway, next game on this list is Samurai Warriors 4. Another Muso, I think that's how you pronounce it, Muso game. I have Warriors Orochi Hyper 3 and Ultimate 3 on Wii U and Xbox One respectively. And I usually like the samurai, the kind of feudal Japan samurai aspect of things, or Warring States era, sorry, duh. I usually really find that era really interesting, so even though this is fiction, I still had to pick up this game. I picked this up with Bloodborne, which is going to be shown later in this video, for a total of $42, so I kind of had to. I mean, even though there's 4-2 and 4 Empires coming out, I might pick up 4-2, depending if there's enough of a difference, I guess, between the two games. But yeah, if you're looking for a fun Muso game where you literally beat the shit out of people in the hundreds, yeah, I recommend buying this game. Next game on this list is another beat-em-up, actually. Archibus Trip Undead Not Dressed. Funny story of this game. I actually got a few weird comments when I bought this game at my local JB Hi-Fi, sorry. Bought this for $30 there. About half the price I paid for my friend paid for the Vita version, actually. And it's the only game I've got on this list that actually has a manual too, which is really convenient. But yeah, I got back to the thing. I got some really weird comments. Well, I didn't get weird comments. I just got comments like saying, "Oh, these games are all these anime games are all really weird, aren't they?" And I kind of just agreed and kind of snickered to myself because I actually do really enjoy this game secretly. The Vita version's pretty good, but this is a hell of a lot better. This version is a lot more smoother and it plays a lot better. If you can find it cheap on either platform, even PlayStation 3, I'd recommend picking it up for the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, or PlayStation Vita. Next game on this list is Infamous Second Son. This game nearly made me buy a PlayStation 4 in 2014 instead of an Xbox One. It was either this or Sunset Overdrive that would get me either one of those systems, and I ended up choosing the Xbox One. About a year and a half later, here I am with Infamous Second Son on the PlayStation 4. I haven't played a lot of this, but from what I played, I'm in Seattle. I've done a few missions in Seattle, and I really do enjoy this. It's a little bit on the, I don't know, gameplay's a little bit on the repetitive side, but just exploring the world and all that is a lot of fun. The world is beautifully done, and the combat can be quite repetitive, but in short bursts it can be fun. That's all I've really got to say about this. I've also got First Light digitally. I kind of wish I picked up a physical copy of that, as you can pick it up for $10 now, but oh well, I might buy a physical copy soon anyway. Next game on this list is Helldivers Super Earth Ultimate Edition. That's a mouthful. See, it includes the digital versions of the PlayStation 3 and PlayStation Vita. Ironically enough, this is free for PlayStation Plus, so whoopee, first proper month of PlayStation Plus games. One of the big games is a game I already own. Doesn't matter. I guess there's always March, right? This is the only game I've got actually that has support for more than 2 players. It's a little sad actually. It's not showing. Anyway, it's a little sad actually how this is the only game of the lot. And I actually got it working before too with the Vita as a second controller, which was awesome. I'm really happy how I got that to work. But yeah, this is a lot of fun. A hell of a lot. I've heard this is a hell. Oh, that code's already been used. This is a hell of a lot more fun if you're playing this with more than one player, though. That's a given, and I'm pretty sure that's an almost universally agreed opinion, actually. Because this game can get I don't know. It's actually really quite difficult playing this just one player. Oh well, I picked this up for about $40, so I didn't do too bad for all 3 versions of the game, considering only one's physical. But yeah, I guess there's always the bonus of if I ever want to trade this in, I can just trade in the disc, I guess, and then you keep the cover. If I'm that scummy. Nah, probably trade in the whole game, just to make sure someone else gets a good condition game. Anyway, next game on this list is Final Fantasy X2 HD Remaster. I already own this for the Vita, except I don't have X2 because the guy I bought it off didn't actually... We already used the X2 code, which doesn't bother me a lot, but it was a little annoying. But hey, it doesn't matter. I've got X2 on here now, although I've heard X2's not very good. Well, mind you, I only heard that from one thing because of the awkward singing bits. Look how erotic, look how suggestive that is. Actually, it's not even all that suggestive, really. This is coming from the guy who owns Archibus Trip Undead Not Dressed. On 2 platforms, I might add. And there's the Blu-ray disc and all that, and it looks quite nice, actually. It's a bit minimalist, but I like that art, actually. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this game. I don't really have much else to say. I was actually quite surprised how much space this took up as well. It took up something like 36 gig on the install. What does it say on the back cover here? I was wrong. 33 gig minimum. Still quite a big amount for a PlayStation 2 remaster. Oh well. I've managed to keep most of my games on my hard drive, actually, except, well, for the game after this one, Bloodborne. Yeah, at first I couldn't get into this game, and then I gave it another shot, started a new save, and I'm addicted to this. This game is this game's something different. Jesus, fuck, this game is amazing. Everyone I've showed this to thinks, my entire family thinks this game is absolutely freaky and fucked up. So I'm the only one in the whole household who actually really enjoys this game. It's very similar to the Souls games, except it's faster and less clunkier. That's all I've really got to say about it. And it's very unforgiving, and that's what I love about it, is it's just so unforgiving. It encourages you to not take as much risks, but you got to be careful of what you do, and it's just the themes and the environments and everything just works so well together to make such a masterpiece. This is, in my opinion, the first must-buy PS4 game that came out in 2015, I guess. Actually, no, Infamous was actually, but yeah. Next game on this list is a game I actually uninstalled because I needed to save space, because they decided, you know what, let's install all the DLC into the user's hard drive, so if you happen to have the season pass, you can use it on the go. Well, you know what that happened? That means that it takes up 54 gig on my PS4 hard drive, and it apparently takes up a minimum of 40 here. What a load of bullshit. Never mind that. It's actually a fun game. I uninstalled it though because I wanted to save some space, and I am planning on waiting until I can get a bigger drive for it, meaning I'll have to remove it, back it up, instead of 2.5-inch SATA parallel, is it parallel ATA or something else ATA? I'm not too sure. I'm thinking about getting a 2 terabyte or a 1 terabyte though. Not too sure as of yet, but I'm planning on reinstalling it once I've either completed the order or I get a new hard drive, because I'm about halfway through the order 1886. Next game on this list is God of War 3 Remastered. Actually, a good fun game. I didn't think I'd like this a lot. It reminds me a lot of a bit of a slower paced Bayonetta, really. I mean, it's in that hack and slash kind of genre, but so it only kind of makes sense to make comparisons to it. But it reminds me a little bit of that, actually. I don't know why they didn't do 1 and 2, but each to their own, I guess. 1080p 60, I guess you can't really complain. Nonetheless, picked it up for $30 as well, so I picked it up for cheaper than the RRP, or whatever the hell they call it these days, for PlayStation 4 recommended retail price. Actually, I do get that right. But if you do find this and you haven't, well, and you happen to be one of those few people who've played God of War 1 and 2 on your PS2, but haven't played 3, I guess there's always this. There's always this for everyone who hasn't played 3. Okay. Anyway, last game, or fourth last game on this, sorry, is the Order 1886, because next up is limited editions. Yeah, I actually find this a tad underrated. This is actually quite fun. I like the story in this. This has got an interesting atmosphere, a lot of lore, nice amount of lore. And it's the cover shooting, like the third-person shooting, is not as boring as many people say it is. Mind you, that's just me. You're talking about the dude who really enjoys Firewatch. Absolutely adore Firewatch, despite its technical issues on PlayStation 4. That game is something else. I'm up to day 76, and I'm kind of waiting till the following morning, because there's apparently a spoiler alert, a jump scare, so I'm not really willing to play that right now. Anyway, so yeah, I do recommend picking up this game quite cheap, because this game is actually really cheap right now. I didn't do very good in reviews. The reviewers didn't really like it. No, I'd give it a 7 if I were to be dead honest. A lot of people gave it 6, 5.5, 6.5. But honestly, I think it's fitting. Sorry, I reckon it's fitting of a 7. Because I don't know, the game's fun, and I really like the themes and the whole how London is reproduced in this kind of. It's kind of describing this kind of like war kind of thing. I don't know. It's really cool. Anyway, let's go straight to the limited edition, shall we? First limited edition is Disc A of 5, Alliance of Vengeance. Includes bonus art book, soundtrack, and reversible cover. Let's see what's inside, actually. I mean, I know what's inside here, of course, but you know what? Just for YouTube's sake, I'm going to show you all what's in here. So, what do we have here? This might be a bit of work to get out, so I apologize if it shows me struggling at the camera. Okay, so let's grab everything out. Come on, out you get, you fuck. Hey, is that the first time I've sworn this whole video? I think it is. Wow, I'm doing really well lately, aren't I? Anyway, so here's the official art book. Nothing too shabby. There's Red Magnus. The characters in this game are quite funny, actually. Such a cool game, this one. I really do like this game. This is the first Disc A game I played as well, so I'm actually tempted to go and get 3 and 4 for the Vita. So I might actually do that next week. And here's the original soundtrack, which includes a CD. I can't really get the CD. Oh, hang on. I just lied. I just lied to you all. I'm sorry. Then again, how many times have I lied to everyone on YouTube? Maybe once. I don't know. But yeah, you get the gist. Here's the sound. Here's the CD. Back of the CD includes all this game's soundtrack. And lastly, the most important thing, the thing everyone cares about the most, the game, including a reversible cover. Luckily, this didn't take up a hell of a lot of space, so it only took up about 10 gig. But there's a reversible cover. Yeah, any Disc Gamer fan, yeah, this is good. This is a very good game. And man, I didn't find this game incredibly complex. If anything, I liked the complexity of this game. Oh, here we go. Here's a second game with a manual, even though it's not really a manual. I loved the complexity in this game. Something about how complex all the systems were and how many systems you had to manage was just appealing to me for some reason. Like how upgrading well, not necessarily upgrading weapons, but getting weapons and all that, managing your characters. I really like that for some reason. Anyway, next limited edition on this list is Uncharted Nathan Drake Collection Special Edition. I've completed Uncharted 1 and about 15% through the second game. And yeah, wow, these are really good games. First one I like more so far than the second one, though. Please don't shoot me when I say that. Only reason why I say that, well, here's the Uncharted art book, just for those who are curious. It's not an incredible art book. Actually, it is quite a nice art book, actually. It's quite cool. I haven't really looked at it, though. But the reason why I like it so much is, I don't know, the game seems to be... I don't know, I like the environments a little more in the first one than in the second one. The gun combat's miles better in the second one, though. And the story's better in the second one so far. Although there isn't really much of it from what I've been playing. But here we go, there's the disc art and all that, there's the controls and all that. I don't know what the hell this is. Oh, these are stickers. Yeah, I've already used one actually. I've already used one for the back of my MacBook. As you can see here, I have quite a few stickers on the back of my MacBook. So that's it, really. That's the second last game on this list. You see the box fits quite nicely in a seal. Okay, last limited edition on this list is Life is Strange Limited Edition. Quite a nice limited edition. Licensed soundtrack. You know what's funny about all these limited editions with licensed soundtrack CDs? My computer does not have a CD drive. So, I mean, I do have a 10-year-old PC that I could export the CD soundtracks from. But here we go. Look, all this. I don't know what this all this is. Oh, yeah, this is a picture book. I don't know if this will involve any spoilers for anything, so I'm not going to really go full into it. Because it'll probably spoil something for me as well. But here is a soundtrack. Yeah, I don't know any of these bands except for Angus and Julia Stone. I haven't listened to them. I've only heard that from my brother. And there's the original score, which I'm probably the one I'm probably actually going to be interested in listening to. And then here is the actual game itself, which is actually quite a nice cover, actually. Doesn't take up a lot of space. Actually, it takes up a surprising amount. And then there's a Square Enix code. Then there's the Blu-ray disc. And that's basically it. If you've gotten to this point in the video, folks, thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure doing this video for everyone who's been watching this, and I shall see you on the next video. Okay, take care. See you next video.